Yo, 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 it's your boy Retro. Welcome to Retro Unfiltered. Today, we're doing our first official video on this platform, and the title of this video is First Love. Let's get into it. So, my first love is God. Yeah, I know it sounds cliche and everything, but honestly, my first love is God. And I love Him, and I can be able to love Him because He first loved me. He even said it in His Word, guys. He said it in First John 4, verse 19, that we can love because He first loved us. So basically, whatever form of love that we experience on a daily basis with family, with friends, with loved ones, is because God has made it possible to be able to love. And this kind of love that we have with God is a reciprocal kind of love. His love is always there for us. His love is always coming through for us. His love is there. It's us that need to tap into that love so that we can be able to love him back. And before we can love God, we must know Him. Because how can you love somebody that you don't know? He cared about us so much that He made His Word available for us so that we can be able to know Him, to get to know all the details that we need, to be able to understand Him, to understand His love, so that we can be able to tap into that love and just love on Him because everything we need to know about God is available in His Word, guys. So let's read the Word to get to know God so that we can be able to love Him back. Because this life we're doing, we're not supposed to do it alone. We're supposed to do it with God. We're supposed to walk with God. We're supposed to love God. And how can you walk with somebody you don't know? Like, can you walk with a stranger? Can you actually walk with a stranger literally? Like, can you walk with somebody you don't know? Can you walk with a person even if you don't know the direction they're going in? You don't know whether that person is supposed to harm you or to help you. You're going to have all these questions in your head because you cannot comfortably walk with a stranger. So let's get to know God so that we can be able to properly love God. And this love that God has for us is an everlasting kind of love. He loves us with an everlasting love, guys. He even said it in his word in Jeremiah 31, verse 3, that he loves us with an everlasting kind of love. And this God has shown us the greatest form of love ever. How? By sending his only son to come and die for us. We all know the famous scripture, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whomsoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So God has shown us the greatest form of love, sacrificial love, kind love, soft love, you know, and He wants us to just understand Him, know Him, love Him back, walk with Him. He wants to abide in us and He wants us to abide in Him, guys. And with all of this, we can be able to profess love to others because we understand the origin of love. We know that love comes from God. God is love. Yeah. And he even said it in his word in First Corinthians 13 from 4 to 7. Love is patient. He has given us basically a manual how to do this love, whether with him or with other people. Love is patient. Love is kind. It's not boastful. It does not keep any record of wrongdoings and so forth. So, whatever form of love we are showing today, is because we know the origin of love. Yeah. And we know that love is also a choice. You wake up every day and choose to love someone. You wake up every single day and decide to be patient with that person, especially for those who are married. They understand this on a deeper level. You wake up every day and you decide to let go of every mistake that your partner or loved one has, done to you. You wake up every day and choose your person or your people. You wake up every single day and show love to them. It's a choice. It is a disciplined choice. Love is a disciplined choice. Just how God had a choice, to come and die for us. Jesus had a choice to come and die for us. It was not compulsory. He chose to love us by dying for us and wiping our sins away. Basically, love is a choice. So, whoever is telling you otherwise, guys, that you don't choose your person, that, it's in the nature to do this, it's in our nature to do that. People choose to do certain things to you, whether they're good or bad things. It's a choice. People choose to do it to you. I want it to sink in. People choose to love you. People choose to disrespect you. People choose to cheat on you. It is a choice. Love is a choice. One thing I've come to realize is the relationship we have with God is what feeds all other forms of relationships that we have here on earth. Because our relationship with God is where we kind of feed from to be able to nourish the other relationships we have, whether it's with our parents, partners, friends, everything, every form of relationship. So when our relationship with God is not healthy, is not stable, these other relationships that are around, they tend to suffer, because we often starve these other relationships. We take them for granted. We don't uphold them to the standard that they should be. We usually allow our flesh to lead in those relationships because we're not in tune with God, we're not in tune with the Holy Spirit, and we are also being starved. So, therefore, we will also starve those other relationships. And with God being our first love, He shows up, guys. He shows up for you, even when you don't think He's going to show up for you. And His kind of showing up is not what your friends or your best friend or family would do for you. His showing up is divine. The timing is right. The experience will leave you in awe of Him. His showing up is simply divine. I have a very unique experience of this, what I'm telling you guys, because I know I usually say this story to a lot of people that are around me, people that know me, but I have a story, guys. I have an experience with God showing up. So here's the story, yeah. In 2023, I was traveling to Kampala to see my sister and to attend my brother's graduation. Now, while I was going for, the ceremony and to see my family, I was so excited, as I should be. I was so excited. I thought I had everything in control. I thought everything that I needed for that trip was already provided. I thought, that everything was okay. So I arrived at the airport, yeah. I checked in and I was just, chilling like the cool guy that I am. I was just chilling, waiting for my flight, and I was really excited. So while boarding the flight, one of the staff members told me, "Oh, she asked, where's your ETA to get to Kampala?" I was like, "I don't need an ETA because I already have a student pass for Kenya or student visa." So somebody had told me, or some people had told me that, as a student of, Kenya, you don't really need a visa, an entry visa to explore other parts of East Africa. It used to be a thing. So I thought it was still effective. And I was walking and talking to that lady with the assurance that I had. So I was there going back and forth with this lady, and she basically told me, "You cannot board this flight until you show us an ETA." I started to panic. I didn't know what to do. I was confused. I called my parents, I called my siblings. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I didn't want to miss that flight. I didn't want to miss the trip. I was excited for this trip, guys. Very, very, very excited. So I quickly went on my phone trying to see if I can buy a last minute visa. But then when I went online, they told me the visa will be given to me in 5 days. I should be leaving in an hour or a few minutes, in fact, few minutes. So I panicked even more. So I was there standing so confused, like all hope is gone. I didn't even think that, okay, God is going to come through for me. I didn't even think, I just thought that I was going to go back home, miss that flight, and maybe go back after I get the visa or something. So I was just there standing, thinking of the next move and everything. And people that know me know that I'm not really good with hiding emotions. So whatever I'm feeling, even if I don't say it, it's going to show on my face, or body language or whatever it is. But you're going to know that I'm not okay. So I don't know how this stranger noticed, but I was just there standing. I don't want to tell you guys, but it's a secret. I even cried on that airport. I cried, and my parents still bully me for this thing. But I cried, and one big guy like this, one senior guy, I don't even know him from anywhere, but I think he had some link with the airline. He came to examine the situation. He was like, "What's wrong?" And I explained to him, I told him what the problem was. And all that guy said was, let this guy get on the flight without questions, without any further statements. This lady allowed me to get on the flight, and I sat on the flight, thanking God, thinking that my problems were over, and I was like, I can't wait to get to Kampala, have the time of my life with my friends and family and everything. So I arrived in Uganda at Entebbe Airport. When I got there, they said, "Oh, now you need to get visa upon arrival." Yeah. So I was like, "Okay, no biggie, no big deal. I'm just gonna go to the ATM, come back, and pay for it." They said it was $50. So I went out to find the ATM. They had about three different ATMs. Yeah, and none of them could take my card. No ATM was working. I called my sister to see how far she was so that she could bring me the money. She was still far, far, far away. And she was like, I'm on the highway now. To find an ATM is going to be very difficult. So I was there panicking again. What am I going to do? Not even trusting my first love, God. Not even thinking that my first love was going to show up for me. Not even thinking that He was going to come through. So I was just there standing, looking sad, looking hopeless, and everything. Another stranger came to me and was like, "Bro, what's the problem?" And I explained to him as well. And then that guy did not even ask me any question. He did not want to know any more detail. He just took out the $50 from his wallet, 50 US dollars, clean money. He took out that money and gave it to me. I was speechless. I just told the guy thank you, and I went and got my visa, and then I was able to leave the airport and meet my sister and everything. So that's my experience of God showing up for me. Nobody can tell me that that's not God. Nobody can tell me that it wasn't God who was working in His own way to make sure that I get to where I needed to get. It was God. So the first love, our first love, God, He shows up. He shows up more than any way you can think He would. He does it in His own way. He does it in His own time. He does it when you don't even think He would. So He shows up, guys. With all that being said, let me share with you my first earthly love experience. So it was in 2015, early 2015. And at the time, I was in Spiriton Academy. I was new there, and I saw this baby. She was very pretty, or she still is very pretty. Yeah, but I saw her, and I was like, I think I like this girl. I was young at the time. I'm not gonna say the age, but yeah, I was very, very, very young. So this particular day, I was at my dad's office waiting for him to be done with work so that he can take me home. So while at the office, I saw this babe online. So I was like, let's chat. Let me be bold. Let me make my move. So we're chatting here and there. Hello, hi, how are you? Blah blah blah. And I was able to make my move, and we started dating, guys. We started dating, and that's where the whole first love thing happened. That's where it began, you know. And moving forward, it was exciting. It was really, really amazing. It felt good. It felt like, this was the girl I was going to get married to. Everything felt right. Even though we made our mistakes here and there, but it felt so good. You know, so we were on from 2015 to about 2019. In between, we're off and on, off and on, off and on. Yeah, but we made it happen, and it was an amazing time. And we still respect each other. We still keep in touch. We're not best friends, yeah, but we still respect and honor each other. Yeah. But it was an amazing experience for me. I was young, I was in love, and I made my move. It was exciting. And at the time, this babe and I, we stayed or we lived in the same area. So there were times she used to come to my house. And I even remember I cooked for her. I used to cook for people that I loved, so it was super fun. It was amazing. And you even know the nicknames that people do. We did our own. We had so many nicknames that our friends used to call us by. I remember there was this popular one called Patro. Like, if you know, you know. I'm not going to explain any further. If you know, you know. But it was an amazing time for me. It was an amazing experience as a teenager. And I had lots of fun. So eventually we broke up and we moved on. It was a learning experience for the both of us. We made so many mistakes, especially me. I made so many mistakes. We went off and on, off and on. It was, simply a learning experience for us. And like I said earlier, we still respect each other and we stay in touch. Yeah. um, there are some lessons that I learned from that experience with my first love, my earthly first love. And one of the lessons, you know, that I learned is that you will not always end up with your first love. As you're going into that relationship, as you're going into that love, it might not last. However, there are people who end up together. There are people who marry their first love, which is super amazing. But for other people, it may not happen like that. So keep an open mind as you're going into the relationship, and trust God as you're going into the relationship. Another one would be that there will be mistakes to be made. There will be lots of mistakes. So don't beat yourself up too much about the mistakes being made. I'm not saying that you should intentionally do certain bad things, but you will make mistakes. As long as you learn from your mistakes and correct them, that's okay. So there will be mistakes always. And please, please, please put God at the center of your relationship, whether it's first love, second love, third love, and so forth. Put God at the center of your relationship. If God is in, the relationship, if God is at the center of that relationship, it's going to be way easier than, when the two of you are trying to do things on your own. Lastly, you may not easily forget them, even if you try. I'm not saying that you're gonna still be in love with them or anything, but just forgetting the memories, forgetting the experience, it's not going to be very easy to let go of. In as much as you may even move on, it's not going to be so easy to forget the memories and everything. Yes. So these are the lessons that I learned from my earthly first love experience. Yes, I hope that you've had a good time. I hope that you picked up a thing or two, and I hope that you enjoyed this first episode. This is how we come to the end of our first video, and it's a wrap. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope that you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.